Hello everyone, I'm home. Welcome back to my channel. I apologize for my lengthy absence from YouTube, but oh guys, you know how sometimes life just gets in the way. There's so much going on. And then I was looking at my last video and I only had about 300 views on it. And I kept getting messages that people weren't seeing my videos. They're not popping up in the algorithm. And I'll be the first to admit I don't understand the algorithm at all. So I don't know what that's all about. So if you could hit the notification bell, you will be getting all my videos. But for right now, all I can tell you is I don't know what I'm doing. I I put these videos out and I just hope and pray that you guys see them. And it's been a few weeks since I've been on here, but I'm back and the weather's getting a little nicer. It's cold today, but it's been a little bit nicer. So I thought that in this video we got a lot to unpack. So I'm going to start off by taking you on a little trip that we went on. I'm going to start telling you about my boys again. I know I've told you in the past I have twins, or we have twins, and they're 23 years old. Oh my goodness. And when they were born, ever since they've been born, they've been the absolute joys of our life. And yes, when they were little, I carried them around in a laundry basket because it was just easier to carry them around the house that way than to carry two babies all the time. So these little guys were very adventurous. They called their little adventures ventures. They'd say, "Mom, let's go on a venture." And they'd pack a little canteen and put on a hat and get them some granola bars and walk across the street and walk in our neighbor's woods and call it a big venture. And they were always doing something silly and crazy, and they were the funnest kids. This is them in their Batman pajamas, and I made them a cape with my beauty shop cape, and much to the delight of their dad, they became big sports fans right off the bat. He put a basketball and baseball and football in their hands right away. And of course, they played t-ball. This picture just about melts my heart. They were so tiny. Their shirts were too big. Their dad was their coach, along with Gene Benedict, another guy here in town. And then they started going everywhere. If it had something to do with baseball, basketball, or football, they wanted to be there. And that was a Hall of Fame. This was once they went to Chicago and went to a White Sox game. And this is a picture of their very first White Sox game. They went with my Uncle Tom and my husband, and I was worried sick all day, but it was a guy thing that they wanted to go on. So they went and they just had a blast. And we went to Florida, and Marcus had to check out Michael Jordan's store at Disneyland or Disney World. And then Marcus played tennis, and I was always at some kind of an event, tennis, track. They both played basketball for our high school. I would sit up in the stands and get teary-eyed watching those boys play. And I always loved to see the picture of them from behind because they were really intense and watching the game and waiting for their time to get up on the floor and play. And these were their pictures that hung in the gymnasium. There were big banners that they made that hung in the gym, and they gave them to us and I hung those up when they graduated. And Marcus, he ran track. Now Matt, he's more into lifting weights and playing basketball, but Marcus liked to run track. And then they liked the Timberwolves, and Marcus likes the Celtics. Matt likes the Timberwolves, and they went to Memphis. And this is them the day they graduated high school. So as you can tell, our boys just mean the world to us, and they're good boys. This is a couple of their senior pictures, and they're pretty close. You know how they say twins are. Well, what I'm getting at is I wasn't a sports fan. My family wasn't into sports, and I became a mom of two boys, and sports was everywhere. So the boys like to go over to Knightstown and New Richmond and check out the places where the movie Hoosiers was filmed. Now, you don't have to be from Indiana or even be a big basketball fan to love this movie. I'm sure you've all heard of it. It's supposed to be one of the best sports movies ever made. And we don't live very far from New Richmond, Indiana. So when my boys found out that the movie had been made over there and then over in Knightstown, they just went crazy. So we've made several trips. Now, this is the opening scene in the movie where Coach Dale is going into a little town, fictional town called Hickory, to become a basketball coach for their little school. And this is the little town of Knightstown, which isn't too far. No, I'm sorry, this is New Richmond. It's not too far from us, and they used this little town because it was an old-fashioned little country town. And we've been over there several times and visited at the cafe, and we went out to a house where they filmed a scene, and the lady who lived there let us look around, and they're just really open to letting you see what all they have. Books where they took a lot of pictures of the movie being made, and this is their little post office in New Richmond, and they call it Hickory, Indiana, in honor of the movie. And then I'm not sure where this church is. We've been to so many places, but it's the church where Coach Dale went in and was fighting for his right to continue coaching on the team. And we went to see that movie so many times, and then we had the video and the DVD and everything. This is Shooter's Cabin, and I can't remember exactly where it's at. But if you live in the area, you should come over to Knightstown and New Richmond, Crawfordsville, and see the different places. Now, this is when, a couple of weeks ago, my son and my husband were going to a Celtics game, and we stopped by to see the Hoosier Gym. And this is the bus that they used in the movie. I don't think it's the original bus from that time, but they used it in the movie. And this was it in some kind of a parade. I took these pictures at the little museum that they have at the Hoosier Gym. Now, this is in Knightstown, Indiana. And if you ever get a chance to go there, you would really enjoy it. There's a couple of men and women that stay in there all the time, and they walk around and talk to you and tell you all kinds of things you wouldn't get to know otherwise. They have the movie playing at all times. Now, the day we went, there were a lot of people in there, so I didn't get to take pictures of everything that they have, and I didn't go back in the locker rooms, but my husband and my son went back there. I guess this is an old leather basketball like they would have used at the time, the era of that movie. And of course, they have some Larry Bird things on display. My mom was a big Larry Bird fan back in the day, and this picture commemorates the day that Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Carmelo Anthony, and LeBron James came to the Hoosier Gym to visit. That would have been one heck of a scene, wouldn't it, to see those four there? And then they have t-shirts and sweatshirts and hats and all kinds of neat memorabilia that you can buy. And like I said, the day we were there, it was crowded because they had a basketball game. They let teams come in and play and schools come in and play. And so I didn't get to go in and take real good pictures of the gym. But from here, you can see what it was like in the movie. And our little town of West Lebanon had an old gym. They tore it down. But our gym would have been perfect for that movie too, because it looked quite a bit like this one. But it wasn't in as good a shape, and I don't think it was ever recommended for the movie. But this place is really neat. When you go in, you're just enveloped with all kinds of history. And of course, this is a picture of Gene Hackman and the team. It's kind of blurry because I had to take pictures from far away. But this is the locker room that they used in the movie. And then this is the chalkboard with the infamous line, "I'll make it." And my sons like to go over there. Marcus drove over there one day by himself and just shot some baskets. And you can rent the gym for games. And when my boys were in high school, this is Marcus, and I don't have a picture of Matt. He's in the background somewhere, where our high school team went over and got to play another high school team one time. And it's always been a big thrill for the kids. Here's Marcus. He likes to go over there and shoot. So we live in Indiana, and I'll tell you what, they call this Purdue country, but it's IU country to us. My husband's a big IU fan, and the boys joined with him on that. And when we moved into this house, we had a big red barn, and as a surprise for my husband, I got up on the back of a truck and a ladder, and I painted this 6.5-foot tall IU emblem for him. And as you can imagine, I didn't have a stencil that big, so I had to tape it off just by memory and paint it, and then I put some water sealer on it, and it was in 2009, and we still have it. So the Hoosier Gym has a Facebook and Instagram presence, so you should go check it out. And then I was thrifting. Can you imagine me going thrifting on all this cold weather? This is a shower curtain I found. It was brand new. I got it for $1, and it's burgundy with roses, and it's like a waterproof fabric. And it's just absolutely beautiful. And I've already decided that I'm going to use a little bit of it to cover my porch cushions on my wicker chairs. And then I don't know what I'll do with the rest of it. Maybe make a tablecloth for outside. It's just absolutely beautiful, and it's got my roses in it. So I really like it. And then I ran to the library yesterday to do a little work, and I found these in their basement. They have a book sale all the time. And these little books were 10 cents. They're little pamphlet-like books. Johnny Appleseed, and this is one about the first settlements in Illinois, and I just love to read stuff like that about history, so I'll really enjoy that. I've already looked through one of them, and this had some fantastic recipes in it. It was made in a little church in Alamo, Indiana. Now, I went into the thrift store one day, and I spotted this. It's a marigold imperial bowl, and it was so dirty, but I could tell that it was beautiful underneath all that dirt. It was only $2. It was in perfect condition. I snatched it up and brought it home, and I took a soft toothbrush and some cleanser and cleaned it. And I think it's just as pretty on the bottom and the sides as it is on the top. And this is normally something I would put out in the fall because it's obviously fall colors, but I'm putting it out now. I found it online. Now, I think mine looks a lot shinier than this one. It's probably just the way it was photographed, but it's selling for anywhere between $10 and $50 on eBay and Mercari and different things. And so I just brought it home and cleaned it up, and I put some Easter eggs in it. And I think it's just beautiful. And I won't sell it. I'll keep it. And I will put it out in the fall, but I'll probably leave it out all year. I just love it so much. There it is on my coffee table full of eggs. And then I got up on top of my china cabinet and dusted and took everything down. And I thought I'd show you guys my ball jar collection, which is not really a big collection, but I found this light at a thrift store one day for $1. And it's just beautiful, and it had berries in it, and I took the berries out, and I put Christmas ornaments in it sometimes, and right now I have some Easter eggs in it, some of the rustic Easter eggs that I made with those glitter eggs that I painted, and I cleaned it all up, and I put a piece of saran wrap across the top because it doesn't have a lid. I've got to find a big lid for it. So while I was up there, I had to clean all my cake stands. So I thought, well, I'll show you guys my cake stand collection, which I've made up my mind I'm stopping with the cake stands because I'm stacking them now and it's getting ridiculous. The amethyst one and this green one, I think, came from Hobby Lobby. And then this blue one, they're all the exact same pattern. It came from the Dollar General. And of course, the Dollar General ones are only like $5, and the ones from Hobby Lobby are $10. But I love them, and I do use them, and not all of them. And I also buy cheese domes, like cheese tray domes, and they look really pretty on there. And if I have cookies or cupcakes, I'll put them on these trays. It just elevates everything and makes them look a little prettier. And of course, I like my tags. This is a little wooden one that I found at a thrift store, and it's a little bit smaller, but I use it. I put cookies and things on it at Christmas time or Valentine's Day, and then I keep it on the shelf behind my washer and dryer, and I just set a jar of seeds on it so I remember where my seeds are when springtime comes. Now, this is a live edge wooden cake stand that my friend Rosie gave me, and I just love it. I leave it out on my counter all the time, and I have a little lamp setting on it and some little dishes, and I just think it's so pretty. It's different and unique. I got my little, this is just showing you some of the stuff I've put on it in the past. Now, this I'm not sure is a cake stand. I found it at a thrift store, and it's got a lot of patina. It's copper, and I've got it sitting behind my washer and dryer as well. And I keep a couple of my old ball jars that were my grandma's on top of it. And this little plate, I think this little one is handmade. It's done with the old country roses plate, and the screw that's in the middle is a little off center, and I think somebody drilled a hole in it and made their own, but it's really pretty, and I don't have any of those dishes. I'd love to have a set of those. And so I use my little domes on it. And then this one's an old copper one that I bought from my friend Sherry's shop, and it's on top of my refrigerator. And then this is a big tall one that is very old and heavy, and it sits up there. It's got kind of a crisscross pattern. Now this one I think I made. I had this little plate that was my mom's, and I did make this one. And I took an ice cream dish and turned it upside down and used E6000 glue and put it together, and it's been washed a lot and I use it a lot. And it was just a way of keeping my mom's little plate and elevating it a little bit. Now this one has a little scalloped edge. It's very old. It's very heavy. It has a pretty pattern on it. Like I said, I just stack them because I can't pass them up. I just love them so much, and I get them for $1 or $2. And this one has like a little, maybe a little fern pattern around the edge. And this is another big heavy one that's got a little lip around the top, so it may have had a dome on it at one time. And it's got, I don't know the name of the pattern, but it's got dots and stripes. They're just as pretty from the top as they are from the side. And see that little ledge around there, looks like it might have held on to a dome. And then this one has a daisy pattern on it, and it's very old. And this next one, my friend Marianne had one of these. She got it in 1956 when she got married. It's got harps on it, and it's got gold around the edge, and hers is in perfect condition because she didn't use hers as much. But when I found this one the other day for $2, this is the one that broke my pattern. I said I wasn't, or broke my habit. I said I wasn't buying anymore, and I bought that one because it looked like Marianne's. And then this is a little miniature one that actually the little bottom part is what was the name of that? Candlelight, I think it is, company that had little candle trays. And then I found this little dome, and I just paired them together, and you can put little cookies or little cupcakes in it. And this is one of my favorite ones. I got this one at TJ Maxx years ago on clearance. It's sort of like carnival glass, or maybe mercury glass. It's kind of a rusty peach color, and I keep it in my bathroom and just put some little pretties on it in the corner. And then I know I told you not too long ago I don't buy glass candlesticks, but I picked these up because they're heavy and I can use them outside on my table. This was out of the free bin, a little glass votive holder, and I put another candle inside so that it wouldn't melt onto the bowl. But it's so beautiful, and it's old, and it feels like cut glass. I'm not sure if it is. And in the free bin, I found this silver frame, and on the back of it, it said Ellen Tracy, which I know is a really good brand. And I put an Easter picture in it, but I think that it's too shiny for me, and I'll probably either tone it down or I'll donate it back to the thrift store because I don't like shiny and new. I like rustic and rugged. This is a candlestick lamp I bought a pair of, and it's got some paint missing off of it, which I'll touch up and it'll be fine, but they look kind of colonial. And then this is a little ball jar. Let me know if you guys have seen these recently. They might be something new that they sell now, but I had never seen one. It's almost like a little juice glass. And then this is the top of my cabinet after I got it all clean and put all my stuff back and put some cake stands and some ball jars. And some of the blue ball jars were my grandma's and my mother's. And then I pick up odd shaped ones, different colored ones. Some of them are old, some of them are new. It doesn't matter if they're pretty and they say ball or any of the Mason, any of the canning jar names. I like them, especially if they're unique and different. And I don't know if you guys remember these or not. I can't find them anymore, but my mom used to buy these canned hams. She'd just buy one, and we would eat the ham, and then she'd clean the can out, and we would bake a cake in it and decorate it for Easter. And I'm looking for one of these cans. I've looked everywhere. I guess I'll have to buy one online because they say you can buy them. But I would take them and make cakes. And I'm going to decorate some and put them on those pretty cake plates. And I promise you, by Easter or a little after, you're going to see those. And this is my little nature tree. I put some Easter decorations on it. And I'm in the mood to bake. I've got some pies I need to bake for Easter, and I'm going to make my ham can cake and decorate it if I can find one, and if not, I'll just decorate Easter cakes, and I'll put them on those pretty little stands, and I promise you'll see some beauties. So, this is a little project I've been working on. I've done these in the past. I take images off online and shrink them down to about 2 or 3 inches tall. And I glue them to cardstock. And once they dry, I take them and cut around the image of the plate. And I take the plate, now this is after it's been cut out of the cardstock. This is a Flow Blue plate. I take them and I take my nail and just bend around the edge of it and fold it towards the middle. And once I get it all folded, I go around it 2 or 3 times. Then I just take the palm of my hand and flatten it back out, and it makes it look like a plate. And this is a rose one that I did, and this is before I put the gloss on it. And then after they're the way I want them, I take nail polish, clear nail polish, and just pour it onto the plate and just kind of roll it around until it covers it. And when it dries, it looks like a porcelain plate. And I hang these on my little miniature trees. Now, I have a little tree in my bathroom that I'll be putting some of these on, and I put some of them on my nature tree. I just thought you guys might get a kick out of them. They're just beautiful. And this is one that was one of my favorites. Now, this is it glued. It's a platter. It's probably about 2.5 inches long, 1.5 inches tall. And after I cut it out, I folded the edge in, and then I pressed it down and glossed it with some nail polish. You can also use glue, but the nail polish makes it a lot more glossy. And there's my little miniature plates. I can't tell you how many of these I've made. Now, this one had gotten some glue on it, and it got dirty, and it didn't look good, and I was going to throw it away. But I decided to go ahead and do it. There's the edges bent forward to show you guys how to do it. And once I got it all done, and I put the sealer on it, it ended up being my favorite one. Look at it, guys. It looks like a real Flow Blue plate. And when you hold them in your hands, you can tell that they're heavy cardboard, but they sure are pretty. And this is what they look like on the tree. I put these on my little nature tree. There's one of the round Flow Blue plates, and there's the platter. And I don't put a hanger on the back of them. I just tuck them into the branches. They hold just fine. And then I put the rose plate inside one of my little antique baskets. And some people might think this is just crazy, but you know me and my plates and dishes, I love them. So to have these on my little tree is just kind of special to me, and they're so easy to make. And then this is my little Peter Rabbit book that I found recently at one of the thrift stores. And I don't normally put shiny things on my rustic nature tree, but all my little baskets were empty, and I had some little shiny eggs that I got at the Dollar Tree, and I was going to paint some of them, and I thought, you know what, I'll tuck those in there. And really, when you walk up to the tree, they don't stand out. They just fill the baskets, and they look kind of cute. Now, I wanted to show you this. This is from Christmas, but if you ever buy lights and they're too bright, or they're LED, which these are, and I didn't know it when I bought them, you can take these lights and take a brown or yellow magic marker. You can even take an orange one, and just color the lights. And it tones them down and makes them look more dim and more antique and warmer. And you can just tell by these pictures that it just tones the whole scene down. I cannot stand LED lights. So I started doing this, and it works. Now, I'm in Dollar General one day buying some laundry detergent or something, and I walked past this shelf, and I saw these glasses. They only had one. It was cranberry glass. And then they had a yellow one and a blue one, I believe. And they only had about 6. And I bought the one glass. They were $1 a piece. Tumblers. They're glass tumblers. You know, I about freaked out. So I left the store. I told my husband, we got to go to another Dollar General. Look at these glasses I got. I got to get some more. So we went to every Dollar General in our area, and I finally got 3 of them. And it was like 2 weeks later before I found a Dollar General with one more. I don't know why Dollar General does that. They don't have like 15 glasses of one color. They have like 3 glasses of 3 different colors. I didn't like the blue ones. I didn't like the yellow ones. So I came home and I decided to put some of my red transferware I've been picking up in my cabinet where my blue and white dishes used to be. And I put those in another cabinet. And I put my cranberry glass Dollar General tumblers in there. And I ended up getting 5 of them. So I've got 4 in my cabinet, and then I've got one that I use for my drinks. And I just absolutely love them. They're just beautiful. And I'm going to be on the lookout and find some more because you break things, you know. And this is my little cabinet that those glasses are in. And of course, I've got a lot of white ironstone. And gosh, does it ever become too much? Yes, I have too much, guys, but am I going to do anything about it? Probably not. I thrifted all this stuff and it brings me great joy. I love it. So it's here to stay. And then a week or so ago, I made a friend of mine a chocolate cream pie he'd been hungry for. And word from his wife was that he enjoyed it and that they really liked it. So I think I'm going to make him one for Easter. Then I'm at the thrift store one day and I found this little it's about a 6-inch square tin of Elvis. It was 99 cents and I picked it up and it was kind of heavy and I thought it probably had a CD in it. So I just brought it home, didn't even look in it. I got home and it had a little book in it, and the book is just a little square book with some information about Elvis that we already knew, but it was interesting, and some pictures. And I have a project coming up that I'm going to use some of these pictures in, and it's a miniature project. I've been working on it for quite a while. So as soon as I saw all these pictures and the little postcards that were involved in it, I thought, I'm going to use this in my miniature project. So these are they're more like square postcards, but they're postcards. It had a lot of stuff in it for as little a tin as it was, and it did not have, this is a little doorknob hanger that says Elvis is in the house and then Elvis has left the building on the other side. It did not have the CD in it, which was all Christmas songs, but I have most of those Christmas songs on other albums and CDs, and we listen to them a lot. I'm not a huge Elvis fan, like I'm not a collector, but I liked him, and this little set was just perfect. And then at the bottom of the tin was this little candle with a candle stand, and I don't think I would ever burn an Elvis guitar candle, but it's cute, and I may use it in my miniature project if I can fit it in. And I just thought this tin was cute. It shows a very youthful Elvis. It had to have been when he first started, and I just thought it was really pretty. So I'm going to give you a little sneak peek of some of the things I've been making through the years, minis that are going to go into this miniature Elvis project that I'm working on. And I'm thinking that now that I've got this stuff, I might start working on it again. So I'll be sure and let you guys see all of that. You never know what I'm going to be doing in miniatures. And this Elvis project I've been working on for a long time because I need a lot of stuff for it. And then this is one of my miniature antique stores looking inside the door. And some of my antique dishes and tables. And I noticed that there's a couple pumpkins on there, so I never took those off. And then several videos back, I got a bunch of little dresses at an estate sale, and they've made their way into a home in Illinois. It's one of my followers, and she was nice enough to send me a picture of them hanging on her wall. And I want to thank Lynn. Her and I have been talking back and forth quite a bit, and she's not way too far away, and so we know about a lot of the same places. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you like and subscribe. I don't understand the algorithm. I don't understand how it works, but I've lost a few subscribers. I've gained a few, then I lost a few. I don't know how it works, guys, so you're going to have to help me out. I do know there's a little notification bell on the page where you can subscribe, and it doesn't cost anything, but if you hit that little bell, you'll get warned, hey, Marcy's video is coming up. So I thank you guys so much. This is so much fun, and I promise not to be gone so long.